Hey guys, it's Hunter. Welcome back to a special episode of ASKgufish. Jackson, Charvel, EVH, Gretsch, they all did mid-season drops, and it was too much to cover in one episode of ASKgufish, so we're going to break them all down individually. I'm kind of a relative newcomer to all of these brands, so it's definitely going to be interesting. They all have some very cool and surprising stuff, and this is actually ASKgufish episode 200. So to celebrate, I'm launching a new summer merch design. Welcome to Tone Mountain, Georgia. And for the next 24 hours, everything is 20% off in the merch store. Just use code 2HUNDO. I make sure it's only the highest quality stuff, and merch is one of the best ways to support the channel if you like what I do and you feel like doing that. So, link in the description, and while you're checking that out, smack a like on the video if you're going to enjoy it. Glory to the YouTube algo, and let's get into it. Kel says, thoughts on the new Jacksons that just dropped. Okay, so I've mentioned it before, but for the longest time, Jackson did not interest me whatsoever. And this is coming from a metal guy. Didn't really like the shapes, didn't really like the colors, wasn't into floating trems. Personally, just nothing for me there. But since the start of the year, Jackson has been dropping some awesome signatures, like Josh Smith's signature is so cool. In fact, one of the coolest production imports of the year from any brand. And the DIABLO collaboration is the most metal guitar of 2023, by far. And I just mentioned, along with Fender's other specialty brands, they've done a mid-year drop of new production models, and they are outrageous. So I'm just gonna spoil the surprise right off the bat. They just announced a new Pro Plus series, and every model in this series has stainless steel frets. Let's fucking go. This is huge, and I'm not just talking about the absolute railroad tracks that Jackson uses on their guitars, but also because LTD and Schecter have had this particular spec advantage for modern players over Jackson for the last couple of years. But not anymore. All right, you guys meme on me all the time in the comments, but stainless steel frets are magic. They don't wear down, they don't dull. It's like playing on glass. It's amazing. They're so durable, you literally will never have to refret your guitar. But that's also where the problem was. Historically, they were very difficult to put on production guitars because they would just wear the tools down, and that made it very expensive. So brands making that feature accessible on their import lines, that is a big deal. The Pro Plus series also all has lumen lays, another modern standard feature, and even the finishes of the newly revealed models are pretty damn modern. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. So since we're talking about modern focused guitars, let's talk about the new DK Moderns. My absolute favorite out of the new line is the Pro Plus DK Modern Evertune 6 in Silver Sparkle. This finish is outrageously cool. It's silver burst, but a sparkle silver burst, matching headstock and everything. What the fuck? That's crazy. And then on top of that, you add the Evertune, so the guitar never goes out of tune. You add the Fluence Classic Open Core, so you get that versatility with the different voicings. Go to locking tuners. Those are just cool. And then the other signature Jackson features, like the compound 12 to 16 inch fingerboard radius, truss rod adjustment system. You know, one of the things I said about the DK Modern when I demoed it was that it felt and looked a bit uninspired. And on that one, I was forced to eat my words. People really liked it, especially the fact that it felt snappier than a lot of other modern spec guitars because it was a bolt-on. I mean, look at Mike Stringer. He's been using one a ton on tour with Spirit Box. It splits time with his custom Aristides, so that is a huge endorsement for the DK Modern. And it's crazy what a different finish can do. This looks way more inspired than Primer Gray. And of course, now it's got stainless steel frets. It's actually kind of funny. I'm getting a body finished in pretty much that same color, sparkle silver burst right now. And I wasn't quite sure how it would look when it was done. Now I do, and I fucking love it. So that's the 6, and there's also a 26.5 inch scale length 7. Same specs, comes in gold sparkle. Again, I fucking love it. There's actually a surprising emphasis on 7 strings for the Pro Plus series. There are 3 new 7-string DK Moderns, no regular 6s. They're going full send modern this time, I'm telling you. There's a blacked out 7, that's metal as fuck. A kind of hot rod vibe red with black bevels. It's even got red inlay, so that's cool. and one with a chlorine burst poplar burl top. Super Ibanez-y. They've even got the monorail style bridge. And these are loaded with bare knuckle brute force pickups. So, not exactly subtle. These have oiled necks instead of the regular satin, and I really like oiled necks. I love satin too. Oiled just tends to have a more natural feel. There are new colors for the multi-scale DK Moderns, if that's something you forgot that Jackson did. 6-string in gloss black, black hardware, Blackfish and Moderns, bound black ebony fingerboard, Godo locking tuners, angled hipshot hardtail, and now the 7 comes in satin orange crush. What an outrageously fantastic color. So 80s, but then it's got the same modern specs as the 6. And of course, now they both come with stainless steel frets. It'll be interesting to see which current models get pulled into the Pro Plus series after current stock runs out. Seeing as they're the same price, I'd hazard a guess that the current multi-scales like the 7 Eureka Mist will be one of them that'll be getting the stainless steel frets going forward. So those are the DK Moderns, all made in Korea. Those are the highest tier guitars in the new Pro Plus range. Let's talk now about the DKAs. These are carved top dinkies. They're made in China. They're a few $100 less. Comes in indigo blue, metallic black, oxblood, firestorm, and ghost burst. Ooh, spooky. Again, these all have the Jackson specs. The 5-piece maple walnut speed necks with graphite reinforcement, compound radius ebony fingerboards, spoke wheel truss rod adjustment, even Jackson locking strap buttons. They've all got Floyd Rose 1000s, Seymour Duncan JB59 pickup combos. That's classic Jackson. And because they're part of the Pro Plus series, of course, stainless steel frets and lumen lays. So here's an opinion and some insight that may or may not cause a shit show in the comments, but I'm gonna be honest with you. We've been doing a lot of prototyping with Harley Benton because supply chain inflation is insane. Everything along the supply chain is more expensive. And so we've been trying to figure out all our options when it comes to factories. And a few of the large Chinese factories, not all of them, but a few of them are starting to rival even Indonesia. It's actually crazy because all of the large Chinese factories used to be very okay at best, but the overall quality is catching up to Indonesia real quick. So I'd actually be really curious to get my hands on one of these just to see what the quality is like and to see whether they're premium enough to really warrant those price tags. But anyways, the colors are cool too. Metallic finishes are always more interesting than plain solid colors. And so yeah, overall, when it comes to the DKAs, I'm pretty impressed. It's a very coherently modern package that we're not used to seeing from Jackson, at least not consistently. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to Jackson's modern guitars, there's always been like one or two things that's held it back. Not with these. And at the same time, these look more traditionally Jackson with the pointy headstocks and the Seymour Duncans than the DK Moderns do. And then finally, let's talk about the Soloist SLA 3s. That's the last model in this first iteration of the Pro Plus series. Solid colors, we've got the basics in snow white and in deep black, and then Jackson have gone full send Eldorado in bullion gold. Quote, maple variants in amber blue burst, amber tiger eye, and polar burst. These are all 3-piece maple walnut neck through, loaded with Floyd Rose 1000s and Seymour Duncans, a distortion in the bridge, and then SSL 6s in the neck and middle positions. Yeah, I wish I loved Super Strats more because you're absolutely spoiled for choice here. Neck through always looks so sick from the back, and that polar burst fade is a wild finish that's kind of come out of nowhere for Jackson. I've always thought it's kind of weird when the burst doesn't go all the way around, so I wouldn't get one for myself. But yeah, that is an eye-catching finish I was not expecting from Jackson. Again, you got the compound fingerboard radius, the ebony fingerboards, stainless steel frets, lumen lays, so another high-spec guitar, and HSS adds another dimension to round out the Pro Plus series. So that's the Pro Plus series, obviously a big step for Jackson, and I'll get more into my final thoughts on that in a second. But first, let's finish going through the new models. So then they've dropped new colors for X series guitars. The Rhodes is getting a Battleship Gray with black bevels, and then purple metallic, also with black bevels. That kind of pays homage to Alexi Laiho, since he was known for playing Jackson Rhodeses quite a bit, and it looks pretty similar to his latest LTD signatures. X Series is always a bit on specs, like it's got a Floyd Rose special, but it does have proper Seymour Duncan blackouts. wasn't expecting that. A couple of new soloists, SL3Xs in Oxblood and in Quicksilver, Floyd Rose Special and Duncan Design pickups, so not terribly impressive on the spec sheet, except when you remember that these are neck through for less than $1,000. That's impressive. And again, man, Jackson's just chosen great colors. There's an SLX in a finish they're calling Checkered Past. Can you see why? It's a pun. They've named a finish using a pun. That's shameful. As a dad, I highly approve. And lastly, a new DK3X in deep purple metallic chrome hardware, white bobbin Duncan Design pickups, reverse matching headstock. It reminds me a lot of Rob Caggiano's signature, but like way more freaking 80s. So that's cool, but obviously the Pro Plus series is the most exciting part of the new Jackson drop on the guitar end. And then on the bass side, Jackson's done a sneaky little drop. New colors for the X Series Concert CBX-NT-DX4 basses. What a name. In Ice Blue Metallic and in Matte Army Drab. This might sound really stupid, but like, I didn't know that Jackson made a P-bass style instrument. I mean, the P-bass is only the most popular bass of all time, and Jackson is part of the Fender family of brands, but we moved. So these have the pointy headstocks and the shark fin inlays, but they aren't like pure metal basses. Look at all those knobs. There's a variety of tones there, I assume. Actually, that one in Ice Blue Metallic with the white shark fins looks really cool. I use MIDI bass exclusively because I'm a trash core kid, but I'm just saying, credit where credit is due. It's a cool looking bass. I've also always thought the pointy Jackson headstock looked way more natural on bass than it does guitar. Am I the only one? No, right? Validate me, internet. The other bass looks more Jackson-y, a new color for the super affordable double humbucker Concert JS3Q in Cherry Burst. Why do basses have so many friggin' knobs, man? So yeah, nothing super interesting on the bass front, no Pro Plus series yet. It's definitely on the way though. I'd guess next year, maybe NAMM time, is when we'll see import Jackson basses with stainless steel frets. So let's break it down. This lineup is clearly a shot in the direction of Schecter and the warning shot off LTD's bow. That's nautical talk. I've been watching way too many analysis videos of the Titan Submersible. We move again. But yeah, these are proper modern-ass Jacksons. Bright colored finishes, direct mounted pickups, a lot of Evertune, and crucially, stainless steel frets. That is huge. There used to be this massive spec discrepancy between Jackson and LTD. They were about the same price, but the LTDs clearly outspec'd Jackson in that regard, but not anymore. I'm interested to hear from the hardcore Jackson fans about the look of the guitars. Personally, I really like them, but that's because I'm a major fan of the modern LTD, the modern Ibanez, super bright, highly saturated, quilted bursts and fades. The prices are a little high, maybe, relative to similarly spec'd models from LTD and Schecter. They're kind of like the market leaders in the metal space right now, and that's why I keep referring to them. And off the top of my head, I can't think of any particular model that lines up directly spec for spec, but just for example, the Schecter Banshee Mach 6 Evertune, boutique hand-wound Lundgren pickups, 5-piece Purple Heart roasted maple neck through, stainless steel frets, compound fingerboard radius, made at World in South Korea, one of the most reputable import factories, $16.99. Versus the DK Modern Evertune at $18.99. In fairness, the Jackson has Goto locking tuners and that ridiculous metal flake silver burst finish, which is apparently not easy to do. And anytime you've got something that is not easy to do and requires a change in process, that adds cost. But remember, specs on paper and theoretical value for money are not everything. Again, players really liked the DK Moderns because of the Jackson speed neck and the fact that it was a high-spec bolt-on. And other models in the Pro Plus series seem to line up pretty much on par with Schecter and LTD counterparts. So we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out. It'll also be interesting to see what happens with the artist models. When LTD made the switch to stainless steel for all their 1000 series models, a lot of the higher tier artist guitars were upgraded as well, but not all of them. It almost seems to be a generational split, which makes sense. Widespread stainless steel is a relatively new thing. Kirk Hammett's models, for example, still use nickel silver because that's what he's played for decades. Josh Middleton, stainless steel because that's what he plays. So for Jackson, I'd imagine Misha's models will be upgraded to Pro Plus and they'll get stainless steel frets like his USA models. I'm praying Josh Smith's baritone gets it. That would make it the perfect Jackson guitar. 27-inch baritone scale length, roasted maple neck, bare knuckle humbucker single combo, Evertune, and all in that color with the matching headstock, and then with stainless steel frets. Do it, Jackson. Just do it. Oh, and also hopefully on the upcoming Lee Malia baritone, look at this thing. It's one of those guitars that falls firmly in the category where I have no idea if it's beautiful or disgusting, but either way, it's undoubtedly sick, and it's got a P-rails in the neck too. That's awesome. Please give it stainless steel frets, I beg. And I'm also hoping that Jackson going stainless steel on their premium import models means they'll start doing stainless steel on their American models too. Especially since they already do it on their MJ series, you can't not have them on the American flagship series. And look, these newest versions of the DK Modern are cool, carved top soloist is nice, but if you're not a fan of Super Strats, you're kind of SOL on this Pro Plus launch. Hopefully it won't be too long before they add the iconic Jackson shapes like the Kelly, the Rhodes. Jackson, come on, think about it. A silver burst flake Kelly with an Evertune and bare knuckles? Do it, you cowards. But yeah, exciting times for Jackson. It just seems like they were playing catch up for so long, and now they're here. We thought they were in trouble when they lost Mark Morton to Mick Thompson in quick succession. Now they've got a Lee Malia model confirmed on the way, potentially Mike Stringer too. They should also just straight up make Wes Borland's King V a signature release as well, now that Limp Bizkit is all popular again. Nu metal's back, and apparently everyone has always been a fan. But you know what guitar I'm talking about? Jackson told him that they had a reverse headstock King V, but when he unboxed it, it was just straight up left-handed guitar. So he pulled a reverse Hendrix and just flipped it around to play right-handed. It's got extra holes, the logo's upside down and everything. It's so derpy. I would love a release of that. But anyways, the point is, Jackson looked a little lost for a bit. Recently, though, they seem to have found their feet. A lot of good vibes right now. But I'm gonna stop rambling right now. Those are just some of my thoughts. Here's where I'll throw it to you. What do you think of the new Pro Plus series? What do you think of the models, the specs, the aesthetics? What do you think of Lee Malia's maybe beautiful, maybe disgusting baritone? Let me know what you're thinking down below. And that will do it for this episode of AskGufish. Shout out to my amazing patrons. Their names are up on the screen right now. If you like what I do, consider joining them. You'll get access to tabs for all the demo tracks. Really supports the channel. Don't forget, new merch design, 20% off. Social media, Discord, and affiliate links you can bookmark are in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. You've been awesome, and I will see you for the next video.